everybody, and welcome back to another video. As you already know by the title, today I'm going to be discussing how to get into a medical university in Ukraine. Don't be deceived, I haven't won a lab coat. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 9 months because of the corona, you know. So let's start by getting this out of the way. Okay, question or point number 1, credentials. The first thing you should have on ground before you can start considering studying medicine anywhere, and also especially in Ukraine, is your results. In Nigeria it is called WAEC. In West African countries actually it's called WAEC, your WAEC result, or your NECO result for Nigerians, or a combination of both your WAEC and your NECO result. In other countries, this is also called your grade 12 result, and this is the result you get after your high school or secondary school, whichever way it is called in your country. And you have to get at least a minimum of C in your major subjects. That's English, math, biology, physics, and chemistry. So please be warned, because I have seen, or actually I have a friend who had this problem with this. She got into school with her result with a D, I think, in one of these subjects, and when she got into school it wasn't a problem, but after a couple of years it became an issue for her because Ukraine changed their standard, and then she had to leave the school because she couldn't provide another result showing her getting at least a minimum in these 5 major subjects. So please, if your results, if you have a D or if you have less than a C in any of those 5 major subjects, I will advise you, if it's possible, to retake the exam or use another exam. For example, if you don't have the subject, if you don't have up to minimum of C, if you don't have a minimum of C in this, let's say in your WAEC result, please get a NECO result, or you can combine the results just to be on the safe side. But please don't apply if you have a problem with any of this, if you have a problem with your result, because it could cause problems for you in the future. Now, another major credential that you should have, your passport. Now, your passports are very important because you can't leave the country without it. And please, if you already have a passport, please be sure that it's not going to expire within 1 year. So just check if you already have a passport. Let's say you've traveled out of the country before, unlike many of us. I will advise you to check and be sure that it's not going to expire within 1 year, because this could cause a problem for you later on. So please, if you don't have a passport, you need to get a passport. And if you do have a passport, be very sure that it won't expire within 1 year, just to be on the safe side. Now, after getting these credentials, the next step. I know some people that said they did this on their own, but this is so risky for so many reasons. 1, you could miss a step. Because you're not familiar with this and you're trying to do it on your own, you might miss a step or 2, or it might take you way longer to get your admission or your visa because you are not used to doing this. And that's why at this point you will need an agent. Success Agency helped me, my 2 brothers, and more than 10 friends that I know to actually get admission. So yes, they are very reliable. I will only tell you something that I have tried and it has worked for me. I'm going to drop the link to their Instagram page below so that you can visit them. Now, for most of you that are wondering, is this an ad? Was I paid to say this? No, but because this worked for me, I am trying to help you as well. Fine, if you don't want to use them, you can use other agencies, but please be very careful, because a lot of my friends here have actually told me of how they were scammed by agents in Nigeria and some countries, and even agents while here in Ukraine. Some lied about their school fees, some lied about so many things and extorted money from them. So if you don't want to use Success Agency, please be very careful about the agency that you're going to use, and be sure that they are reliable. If possible, try and find out if they have done this for other people. If you can, get the contact of some of these people that they have done this for, just to be on the safe side. So why do you need an agent? The agent practically does everything for you. They help you to apply and get your admission letter, and they also help you to get your visa to come over to Ukraine. It includes so many intermediate steps that I can't even tell you because I'm not an agent and I can't even remember all the steps that I did. After I got in contact with my agent, and after I processed and did everything the agent asked me to do and got my admission letter, then getting your visa. My agent helped me to book an appointment with a counselor, and I went over to Abuja to the Ukrainian embassy for this. Now, when you get to the counselor's office, it's an interview. So in this interview, they ask you questions, brief questions about Ukraine. So you should read up a little about Ukraine. This includes where is Ukraine located, what is their language, what is their currency, when did they gain their independence, what is the name of the university you are going to, where is your university located. So these are some of the basic questions that you should prepare for to meet before going to meet the counselor. Now, I also have met people here who went for their first interview and still didn't get their visa. They had to reapply again. This could be because of so many reasons that I'm not really sure of. After getting your admission letter, after getting your visa, this is not the end of the road. Of course, you have to book your ticket and everything, and then you start your journey. When I was coming to Ukraine, I had a stop in Istanbul because Istanbul is a transit from Nigeria to Ukraine. And for me, I and my brother, we arrived in Istanbul in the morning. We left Nigeria in the night by 12 a.m. I believe, 12 a.m. And then we arrived at Istanbul by I think 6 in the morning. But then we had a long transit, so we had to stay in the airport from around 6 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon because our next flight to Ukraine was by 3 in the afternoon. So we had to stay in Istanbul for almost the whole day. Now, when we got to Ukraine, our agent, who is under Success Agency, came to the airport to pick us up. He actually was already there waiting for us, so we didn't have any problem waiting for him or looking for him. When we arrived, we saw him, but of course, before we went to see him, we had to stop in the immigration office. So in the immigration office, they will search you and ask you some questions. You will show them their documents. I remember when I was coming, I had crayfish on me. I came with crayfish from Nigeria, and then one of the ladies was like, "What is this? Where is this? You can't take this. You can't take this with you. We don't know what it is." And then I started crying because I didn't understand. And I think I'm going to tell my brother they're going to send us back. They're going to send us back because we don't know what crayfish is. Very silly of me, I know, but this was my first time leaving the country, so I had no idea what to expect. But then no matter when we explained to her that no, this is an ingredient and everything, then they let us go. I arrived through Lviv, but some people can arrive through Kyiv. So these are two ways of entering into Ukraine. You can enter through Kyiv. They have an international airport in Kyiv, or you can enter through Lviv. I can't say which is better because it all depends on where your university is. When we arrived in my city, my agent made sure that we were very comfortable. He got us a place to stay. He made sure we were properly fed. So after we were all settled in, he took us to our university. We had some places we had to go to sign some things. We also had to do some tests, like a blood test and all of that. So he was with us throughout these processes up until we got our class. We were with him when he paid our school fees for us because of course we didn't know how to do it. So he did all these things for us. After we're done with everything, our agent sat us down and told us in details how much we spent on everything. This included right from when we got to Ukraine, our transport from the airport to our city, to all the tests we had to do, even to our school fees. He showed us how much he told us how much everything cost, and he even showed us the receipts for the ones he could. And after this, we started school, and that was it. How much is my school fees? My school fees is $4,200. You can calculate how much that is in naira or in your currency based on the current rate. Now, my school fees is $4,200. Some seniors that graduated before me, their school fees is less, like $3,800. Why is there a difference? There is a difference because of the rate of dollar the year you are entering or the year you're getting your admission. Now, for my seniors or senior colleagues, the year they got their admission, dollar rate was really good that year for them, so their school fees was $3,800. $4,200 is the highest you will pay, But after my year, I haven't seen anybody else, no other year has paid that amount. For the last part of the video, pros and cons, would I advise you to actually come to Ukraine to study medicine? Because I know we tend to say, Ukraine is this, Ukraine is that, Ukraine is this, Ukraine is that. Okay, so now let's be real with ourselves again. If you are considering studying medicine in Ukraine, that means you either applied to study medicine in your country and didn't get it, or you couldn't afford to study medicine in other countries because they were too expensive. So you decide, would you rather come to Ukraine and study medicine, or end up studying a different course that you don't want to study in your country? You decide. So that is a rundown of everything, of my experience in getting admission into the medical university. Of course, I know some people have different other experiences, but for me it was very easy because I used my agent. I didn't have to bother about a lot of things. I didn't have troubles with a lot of things. So yes, I hope you found this video very entertaining, but most importantly, I hope you found it very informative. Thank you, and see you in my next video.